This video is all about adding dimensions, which are measurements to your sketches. This is incredibly important. We use dimensions to help us define our sketch and to make sure we design accurate models. So to access your dimension tool, you have to click on the pencil icon, and then in that little menu near the bottom right, you'll see that dimension tool. So once that's selected, there's many different ways you can add dimensions. So if I just click on a line, so I'm going to select this line right here, you'll notice a number pops up. So that's sort of like the dimension as of right now. I can click on that number, and I can change it to whatever I think the measurement should be. Say I want it to be 120 millimeters. Now that measurement gets locked into place. I could also do the other side of the rectangle. So yeah, make this 70. Right? And when you do, design in Onshape, you shouldn't be choosing numbers just randomly. You should always measure beforehand and kind of know, the drawing should already be done somewhere else before you move into Onshape. So that's one thing that you can do. You can click on a line, and you can add a length to that line. If I do the same thing to a circle, so if I click on my dimension tool, if I click on the outer part of a circle, that number there is the diameter of the circle. So right now, the diameter is a little over 25 millimeters. Let's say I wanted it to be 20 millimeters. And notice again, once you do this, you can click on the number, you can kind of move that number around. So you could always move your dimensions, kind of put it wherever you think makes sense. So it kind of helps you clean up your sketch. So not only can I do it for circles, I can also do it for arcs. All right? And when you do an arc, rather than giving the diameter, which is like the distance from one side of the circle to the other, it gives you the radius. And you know that because it's a big R. So it gives you the distance from the center point to that arc. And again, you can change that if needed to make it whatever you sort of need it to be. Otherwise, other things that we can do here is you can dimension the distance between any sort of two parts of your sketch. So for example, if I want to say, I will click the center point of my arc, and now I'll click by the top edge of this rectangle. And now you can see this number pops up, and that's measuring the distance, again, from that center point of the arc to the top of the rectangle. If I have two lines like this, I can click on one line, and it's going to want to give you the length of that line. But while it's still selected, if you click on the other line, it now gives you the angle of those two lines. So it allows you easily to determine the angles that you need. And then if you have a polygon, again, just like we did with the circle, I can click on that little dotted line, which now we know that dotted line is it's a construction line. So it's not actually going to be used as part of the sketch. It's just there to help us determine the size, and we can determine the diameter of that circle. There we go. All right. And with all other things in Onshape, you can always go back and edit these. Just double click. So click on the dimension, and then double tap on it, and you can change it to whatever it is that you need it to be. There we go. All right. So there's your dimensions. Again, it's a very important part of designing in Onshape, so make sure you spend a lot of time practicing how to add and edit dimensions in Onshape. Thank you.